Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly hospitalized after NXT New Year's Evil main event. In an SK Wrestling exclusive, Rick Ucchino chats with NXT champion Finn Balor, and King Corbin reacts to Goldberg eyeing his 5th world title reign. Hello everyone, Jose G here bringing you today's top stories in today's SK Wrestling News Roundup. Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly hospitalized after NXT New Year's Evil main event. NXT New Year's Evil episode was headlined by a brutal NXT Championship match between Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly. The NXT superstars picked up where they left off from their first outing by putting on another hard-hitting and bloody contest. In the end, Finn Balor managed to retain his NXT title, but it did come at a cost. WWE confirmed after the show went off the air that both Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly were taken to a local hospital to get checked out for potential injuries. Finn Balor was getting his arm checked while Kyle O'Reilly needed an x-ray of his jaw. This could be storyline injuries as Balor worked on O'Reilly's jaw during the match while the UE member targeted the champion's arm. A Fightful Select report additionally stated that Kyle O'Reilly was checked upon by NXT trainers and doctors during commercials and right after the NXT Championship match. While there are some degree of concern regarding Kyle O'Reilly, we're still unsure whether he suffered a real injury. Sasha Banks reacts to Snoop Dogg's AEW Dynamite appearance. Snoop Dogg made his first AEW appearance on the recent concluded New Year's Smash Dynamite episode, and the famous rapper even got physical during the show. Snoop Dogg hit an unimpressive frog splash, also known as the Snoop Slash, on Serpentico before pinning the Chaos Project member for an unofficial win. Snoop Dogg's awkward splash naturally got the fans talking after the show, and his cousin Sasha Banks also chimed in on social media. The SmackDown Women's Champion hilariously trolled Snoop Dogg on Twitter by saying that his splash needed a lot of work. Snoop Dogg appeared on Dynamite to promote TBS's Go Big show, in which Cody is one of the hosts. There were reports of WWE being unhappy with Snoop Dogg appearing on AEW TV, which coincided with the company removing a joint merchandise of Snoop Dogg and The Undertaker from the WWE shop. While Snoop Dogg could have done a better job with the splash, it was still a fun moment and we'll give him a pass on this occasion. NXT champion Finn Balor on the status on the Demon King in this Sportskeeda Wrestling exclusive. The Prince sat down with Sportskeeda's own Rick Ucchino to discuss a variety of topics ahead of New Year's Evil. When the subject of the Balor's alter ego, the Demon King, came up due to members of the WWE Universe being anxious for it to return, Balor gave a response that some fans may not want to hear. While the NXT champion believes it will eventually come back, it's not his focus right now. Here's what the NXT champion had to say to our very own Rick Ucchino in this SK Wrestling exclusive.
I always like to poll my audience before I do these big interviews, find out what they want to know. And overwhelmingly, the question I got this time around was, when are we going to see the Demon King back again? And, I know you did an interview with my colleague Stephanie Chase right after Super Tuesday saying that, there would be a time for the Demon King to rise again. So, I'll ask you this, is there a sense of pride, that you have created and portrayed something so memorable and so well liked by the fans that they're constantly like, but when are we going to see that again? I want to see that again. I want to see the Demon King. Is there a sense of pride with that?
Of course, but, there's also a sense of I don't want to rest on my laurels. There's, people want to see Bullet Club again. People want to see the Demon again. People, want to see DX return. People want to see NWO get back together. But for me, my mindset is very much about creating something new as opposed to, going back to what I know will work. And, trust me, I love the Demon King. And it's something that I really want to do in the future. But in the future, right now, I'm fully immersed in the character of the Prince. It's a completely different direction for me in WWE. And I feel like it's something that, I can't really divert my attention back to the Demon King just to please other people. I'd much rather please myself.
You can watch the full interview with the NXT champion Finn Balor on our Facebook Watch and on our YouTube channel. NXT GM William Regal announces Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament. It was announced last week on NXT that the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament would be returning in early 2021. To keep the momentum going, NXT GM William Regal announced on the most recent episode of NXT that the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament would have its inaugural run in 2021. With such a stacked roster of women in NXT, it only made natural sense for the women of NXT to get the same opportunity that the men had. Now that it has been announced, any number of debuts could happen and interesting team-ups could also form. There are already a few established teams that will likely take part in the first ever Dusty Rhodes Classic featuring the women of NXT. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez are natural team, as are Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Hayden Carter and Casey Catanzaro have also teamed up for the last year or so in NXT. The tournament for the women was another step in what could be one of the best years in NXT history. In addition to the established teams, there are also the likes of Mercedes Martinez, Rhea Ripley, and NXT champion Io Shirai, who could form part of team. Shotzi Blackheart could feasibly team with Ripley or Shirai since they all share respect. Could Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke return to NXT for the action? Even someone like Aaliyah could find herself as a part of the team for the tournament, as she tweeted about the event shortly after it was announced on NXT. There are also the likes of Xia Li, Ember Moon, and several women at the Performance Center that could show up in the tournament. Whichever stars show up, it certainly will be a huge moment for some of the best women in all of professional wrestling. King Corbin reacts to Goldberg eyeing his 5th world title reign. King Corbin doesn't seem happy with WWE Hall of Famer Goldberg eyeing his 5th world title. On the latest edition of Raw, WWE legend Goldberg confronted Drew McIntyre after the latter win over Keith Lee. Goldberg challenged McIntyre to a WWE title match at the 2021 Royal Rumble event. If the match becomes official and Goldberg goes on to win the same, it would be the 5th world title reign of his illustrious career. WWE acknowledged the same on their official Instagram handle, and SmackDown superstar King Corbin had something to say in response. Corbin posted a sarcastic comment on the post, hinting that he's not thrilled in the latest idea of Goldberg getting another world title shot. If the WWE title match becomes official for the Royal Rumble event, we might see Goldberg win his 5th world title. It's clear as day that many people would be disappointed with the result, and King Corbin is going to be one of them. Thanks for watching today's SK Wrestling News Roundup. For more stories, follow us on all social media. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Download the Sportskeeda app for the most up-to-date stories in the world of wrestling.